and welcome back to another exciting episode of Monday Shots. I'm your host Khyati, and as always, I'm here to bring fresh insights from the leaders across the shipping industry. So, in today's episode, we have a very special guest whose experience and whose journey in the shipping industry spans nearly 3 decades. So, I'm pleased to welcome Mr. Shantanu Saxena, Commercial Director at BainBridge Navigation, who brings with him around 30 years of extensive experience. And I'm sure we're going to have some great insights and discussion, and we'll be diving deep into multiple technical topics of shipping industry today. And our viewers and listeners are going to have some great learnings as well. Sir, welcome to Monday Shots. It's a pleasure to have you on board today.
Thank you, Capt. I must commend you for all the work that you have put again for the Monday Shots.
Thank you, sir.
And it is giving us a very good wider audience, and I think it is very good accepted by the people.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So before we jump into the core discussion, I'm really interested in knowing your early years in the shipping industry. Would you like to share a bit about how your journey started in this industry?
Okay. Yes. So I have a shipping background. I came out, I'm a pre-sea cadet from Chanakya. Then thereafter I went on ships, sailing on ships. I did wide range of ships, different types of ships. They were from bulk carrier, crude tankers, product tankers and chemical tankers. After sailing for about 12 odd years, going up from the different officer grades, I got an opportunity with the company I was sailing with, that was AP Monomers. They offered me a position to step ashore, and I took that opportunity. So for 1 year in India, I was responsible for their crewing matters related to Indian seafarers. So I was very much instrumental there in putting Indian seamen on board Maersk vessels. Then after there, once I finished that project, I was called in Singapore. That was the head office for us, for that vertical, where I took care of the nautical and the safety management of Maersk vessels. There I grew in different departments of fleet management. My last assignment with them was I was heading the crew management for complete Maersk tanker vessels, around 120 of tanker vessels and 20 car carriers.
Okay.
And that is where, during this process, that is where I sort of started getting inclination towards the commercial operations of those ships. And then I moved on and I joined a company called Cargill, where I was a senior vessel operator. So I learned the post-fixing operator from the ground level. There I stayed with them, and then thereafter I moved to another company called Tata NYK, where I was taking care of the chartering as well as the operations. Thereafter, for a couple of years, then I was with Louis Dreyfus, where I was head of Asia Ops for Louis Dreyfus. And then about 6 years back, I got an opportunity to join BainBridge and be a part of their successful story.
Great.
So that's where I am.
Great to know,
Yes.
like such a good sound span you have. Okay, so now let's talk something more technical. We are almost at the end of 2024. So how has the year been for the dry bulk shipping industry? Have you noticed any trends or market shifts that have stood out for you?
Okay, yes. So for shipping per se, 2024 has been very exciting year. Let me put it this way, right? We had, during this year, we have seen a lot of action in shipping, and shipping does thrive on volatility, which is provided by this year, right? In terms of regulations, we had come out of COVID and things were stabilizing. So this year was sort of where the trends started to set in, right? So there's been a lot of action or reaction from global community in terms of shipping. Regulations were set in, a lot of regulations were set in. We saw a different trade lanes getting originated. On one side, we have Gulf of Aden, where we have conflict and vessels owners objecting to going the transit. On the other side, we had coal trade lane where CIS trade, which started very strong in 2024, has sort of depleted now towards the end of it. That changes the dynamics quite a lot. Iron ore from East Coast India, because the commodity price is very close to $100 level, has impacted a trade lane from East Coast India, China. Right? The volumes, if you see in 2024, what we started and what we'll end up is far less than as 2023. Right? So yes, 2024 has been very exciting year for us in shipping, and we look forward for 2025 now.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. So with 2024 being such a dynamic year, as you just said, we've also seen geopolitical tensions at all-time high throughout the year, and which has impacted industries globally and including shipping industries, right? So how have you and your team managed the associated risks in such a dynamic environment and like fluctuations going on?
Shipping is one of the industry which takes the impact of all these tensions, geopolitical tensions that happen. So shipping is in the foremost of these things. Be COVID, first industry to get hit is logistics or shipping. Comes geopolitical, it is shipping that takes the first hit. So in terms of now, when you have Red Sea or Gulf of Aden into tension, we have vessel owners not ready to go in. Right, because of the crew care and all that, which also affects the movement of the cargo. Now the vessels have to move from Cape of Good Hope. That would mean that longer duration to go. Plus, in case you want to go through it, the Gulf of Aden, then it is that you have to pay for the premium. That would mean that ultimately the customer, the end user, has to pay a price for it. Right? So you have, and then same thing happens when you have Russia and Ukraine. Last year you had grain trade taking an impact out of it. Then of course it got settled, and then the grain trade was slowly open. But it changes the dynamics of shipping. Right? At BainBridge and in my team in particular, it is very important for us to understand these risks before we jump into anything. The mindset for us is that nothing should hit us badly, which we can avoid by taking care. Right? So we, in such cases, we try to go slow. We try to estimate what are the risks about it, and then of course during the process, we are operators. We need to take risk, but there's a degree of risk that we need to take, right? On which we are comfortable with. That is something that we do as a team. We discuss, we approach management, and we ask them that this is what we want to do. This is the risk that we have. Once that is discussed very on a lengthy level, we get a go ahead, and then we start to fix our vessels under certain risks that we carry. Right. So it is a process that we follow here within the teams. We take exposure to the risk, but a calculated risk for us.
Well, that was truly very insightful. Thank you for sharing. So moving ahead, another key issue that the industry has been facing is the decreasing order book, right? While at the same time, regulatory pressures like the CII or EU ETS are becoming increasingly significant. So how do you see these developments shaping the future of shipping industry, and how is BainBridge specifically, preparing for these changes, especially when balancing environmental goals with operational demands?
Very good question here. You see, shipping is, like I said, is one of the key industries which takes the impact. And also, shipping is one of the industries which leads these kind of innovations and changes. So, rightly said, yes, there are various regulations being implied on shipping. In terms of what you have mentioned, EEXI and CII, they are all moving for shipping to be a green industry. Right? It's green goals that shipping is. So it is coming to owners, to charterers and operators as well. And we are all engaged together, directly or indirectly, in a way aligning ourselves for these goals. Right? So we comply as BainBridge. We comply to these rules. In order to show our compliance, we tend to fix vessels which are younger in age, preferably less than 15 years or less than 12 years. The fleet that we try to generate for ourselves on period vessels is something that we do. It's a decision that we take, that we will not take older ships. So plus our counterparts should be renowned. So we know the owners who are complying to these regulations, right? While when we fix those vessels, our operations takes care of that. Our vessels under our care are complying to these regulations. So, for example, if we have a scrubber vessel and we need to burn gas oil, yes, we will go ahead and do it. We will not cut corners to make $1,000 of profitability, trying to work around the terms or the clauses with the owners. If master says so that they have to change over, we appreciate that master is doing it, and we will allow him to do it. I know various counterparts, they try to make the profitability as the main criteria, but for us as at BainBridge, it is important that we comply to these things as well. And be the chartering, be the operations team, we work together to comply to these regulations within our jurisdiction, whatever they are.
Right. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so let's talk about the market dynamics now.
Okay.
So in your view, what have been the main driving markets for the shipping industry this year? Are there any regions or commodities that have shown particularly strong growth or potential?
Yes. Because of these geopolitical tensions that we discussed sometime earlier, and also the regulations that have set in, there has been a change in the trade lanes also. For example, we have Indo-India coal trade, which is a very big trade, and it has an assigned index to it. Now, with Coal India producing domestic coal, that trade lane has depleted a bit, right? So there is less number of shipments that's happening Indo-India versus what was happening earlier, because the requirement of the industry is being fulfilled by Coal India domestic production. Right? India has also evolved into Cape ports. So now there's a lot of Cape size shipments which are happening from Indonesia to India. So one Cape would take out 3 Supramaxes anyways, right? So there is a shift of dynamics. Same way, a few years or 2023, we had a lot of attention on CIS trade. That would mean CIS to China, coal trade. But I see in 2024 now that CIS has depleted. Right? So that changes the dynamics, because a lot of vessels, they were charging a premium to get into and do this trade, CIS trade. Now these vessels are finding no employment for themselves. So they are coming into normal trade again. So your supply in that region would increase slowly. Would increase slowly. Same way, South Africa coal into India, it was the volumes have depleted this year versus what was in 2023. Again, the same reason of Coal India's production. Manganese ore from South Africa has maintained its volume, but there were blips of commodity prices, because of which the regular trade had to stop a between and then start again. Iron ore in India from East Coast India to China has again depleted quite significantly, I can say, with government's focus of pelletization. And of course, the commodity price not supporting those shipments affects us. So in general, yes, shipping is a secondary demand. We are driven by commodity price, right? So as long as the commodity is not impacting, shipping would follow it, right? The moment the commodity hits because of the price, shipping gets the effect of it, right? That has happened at iron ore, that has happened in coal, in terms of the businesses. Same way this year now, concurrently, Panamax trade is not happening. East Coast South America has not come up to those levels which was expected 3 months back. right? So the complete segment of Panamax is right now under a lot of pressure, right? So we see how 2025 will come to us now.
Right, rightly said. Last but not the least, sir, Singapore has long been a major hub for global shipping industry, as we all know, and trade. How would you describe the current ecosystem there? And how important is Singapore's role in shaping the future of shipping in Asia Pacific region? What do you think?
Yes, again, Singapore is, because of its location and because of its history, shipping is a predominant industry there, right? A lot of focus goes into shipping by the government. The MPA, the Maritime Port Authority, and Ministry of Shipping, they introduced MFM, that was for the bunkering, a few years back. Now it is a success. So now they have moved ahead one more step, and they have, instead of, there was something called bunker delivery note, which was a hard paper. They have turned into a soft copy now, right? Again, going towards greener goals, again the same thing, right? They have introduced the painting systems or undercleaning systems. There's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of focus from MPA in terms of innovation and introduction of IT into the shipping, in terms of notifications to the ports or the turnaround of the vessels. So there's a lot of work which is going behind the scenes as of today in Singapore in terms of IT, technical
and AI.
Yes, lot of I am aware of a lot of companies being set up trying to bring in AI into shipping, right? We have a lot of small companies which are working towards bringing this blockchain technology into shipping, right? Which can drastically reduce the, of course, make ease of things for the people day-to-day work, but also drastically change the view how shipping would be from 5 years from now.
5 years from now.
Right. So there's a lot of effect happening in Singapore, and Singapore does take pride in that. That is on the shipping side. There's another financial side to shipping. Right. Shipping, Singapore supports these financial instruments. There's a lot of effort from the Ministry of Shipping to get vessel ownerships under Singapore flag. Right, and there are a lot of incentives being given by the government. Something what similar what we have in Gujarat coming up. This has been the model in Singapore for many years, and there's a renewed focus on getting the Singapore flag wider audience across different ownerships. There's a lot of efforts going on in Singapore in that matter.
Okay, well, so maybe 5 or 10 years down the line, there'll be huge, complete shift to the face of the industry.
Yes, they would. I would assume that Singapore would be able to lead financially as well as on the IT front, integrating the benefits of IT into shipping. There's a lot of efforts going on right now on the ground, which I'm aware of in Singapore. So I would say that if some portion of it comes successful, it would be changing the face of shipping, how we look at it right now.
Okay, well, great, sir. It was really wonderful to discuss all these multiple topics today with you, and I'm sure that our audience must have gained a lot of insights today. Thank you once again. Well, with this, we come to the end of this episode. Well, I believe we have covered a lot of ground today, discussing Mr. Saxena's journey, the initial journey in the shipping industry, and coming to the technical side, within which we discussed various challenges that the shipping industry has faced in the year 2024, and like EU ETS, CII, and how shipping industry has been evolving over the years, and how it will be like turned out in the next, say, 5 to 10 years down the line. Well, it's clear that adaptability and forward thinking are the crucial aspects in today's shipping world, and we at BainBridge are all set and ready for the year 2025 and what it's gonna throw to us. So once again, thank you so much for joining us for Monday Shots. It was a pleasure to host you today, and I hope you must have enjoyed as much as I did today discussing with you. And to our listeners, I hope you have gained some wonderful insights from Mr. Saxena. Do not forget to like and leave a review for us. And until next time, I'm Capt signing off. Goodbye.
Thank you.